The last thing I expected that Saturday morning was to watch my daughter's bones snap because of a petty, bitter woman with a grudge. But that's exactly what happened at the butterfly park. And no, it wasn't an accident. It was deliberate cruelty dressed up as neighborhood standards. My daughter, Lily, is 9 years old. She's got osteogenesis imperfecta bone disease. She's smart, stubborn, and brave, and she's been in a wheelchair since she was 4. That day, all she wanted was to fly in her favorite swing. What she got instead was pain, surgery, and a community forever changed. It started long before the swing. Marlene Hughes, president of our HOA, had made it clear from the moment we moved into Willow Crest that she had a problem with Lily. "Your daughter's therapy swing in the backyard is visible from the street," she'd snapped at a board meeting. "It ruins the aesthetic of the neighborhood." I told her, calmly, that it was inside our fenced yard, barely visible unless you were actively spying. She didn't care. She leaned in with that smug smile of hers and said, "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable in a community designed for people like her." The room gasped, but Marlene didn't flinch. She never did. She believed she spoke for the neighborhood: clean lawns, uniform siding, and kids who didn't need special equipment to play. Then came that spring Saturday. Just Lily and me. My husband Jake had to work, but I promised her a day out at the new inclusive playground. She called it the Butterfly Park because the central climbing structure looked like wings. It had ramps, padded flooring, and a special adaptive swing that only one Lily could safely use. It took us nearly an hour to get there with all her gear, but when she saw it, her eyes lit up. I helped her into the swing, strapped her in, and gave her gentle pushes. "Higher, Mom. I want to touch the clouds," she squealed. 20 minutes later, I noticed Marlene strutting across the playground in her pristine white sneakers and fitted jacket, lips tight, eyes locked on us. "How long do you plan to monopolize that equipment?" she barked. "My grandsons want to turn." I looked around. The regular swings were empty. No one was waiting. "This swing is for disabled kids," I said, trying to stay calm. "There are 5 other swings." She folded her arms. "All the equipment here is for everyone. Tax dollars paid for this, and you've had your turn." Lily's smile faded. "Mom, am I doing something wrong?" "Of course not, baby," I said. "You keep swinging." Marlene wasn't done. "We've implemented a 5-minute time limit on equipment when others are waiting," she claimed. I asked who was waiting. No answer. Just more entitlement. "These kids think they're special," she muttered. Then she did it. Marlene marched up, reached for Lily's safety harness, and unclipped it. "Stop," I shouted, sprinting forward. But I was too far. Lily's body, so fragile and light, tipped forward and tumbled out of the swing. She hit the ground with a sickening sound, her arms twisted under her. Her scream shredded the air. I dropped to my knees. Her arms were bent in ways no arm should bend. "You see what happens when you don't follow rules," Marlene said, standing over us like a queen scolding a subject. I couldn't breathe. "Call an ambulance," I yelled. A young dad was already dialing. A woman rushed over and said she was a nurse. "Don't move her," she said gently. "She's badly injured." Another parent had filmed the entire thing. When Marlene tried to step closer again, the nurse snapped, "Don't touch that child. You've done enough." Marlene tried to cover her tracks. "It was an accident. The swing must be defective." But the crowd wasn't buying it. "We all saw what you did," someone said. No one was waiting for that swing. Paramedics arrived, stabilized Lily's arms, and carefully loaded her into the ambulance. I rode with her, clutching her uninjured hand, tears pouring down my face. At the hospital, the news crushed Mebeth's arms broken in multiple places. She'd need surgery, pins, months in casts, and grueling therapy. Jake showed up white-faced and shaking. "Who does this to a child?" he asked. "Who hurts a disabled little girl?" The police didn't hesitate. Thanks to the video and witness statements, Marlene was arrested and charged with felony assault causing serious harm to a disabled person. During the investigation, we learned she'd written emails to the Parks Department arguing against wasting money on accessible equipment. "Regular children are being shortchanged," she wrote. That became Exhibit A. The trial came 3 months later. Her lawyer painted her as a misunderstood grandmother trying to ensure fairness. But the jury saw the truth: her contempt, her entitlement, and her cruelty. The video didn't lie. In less than 2 hours, they returned a guilty verdict. For years in prison. restitution for all of Lily's medical expenses, community service at a center for disabled children. The judge didn't hold back. This was not a lapse in judgment, he said. It was a targeted act of aggression against a vulnerable child. Afterward, reporters asked us how we felt. We're not celebrating her going to prison, Jake said. But we're grateful the system took this seriously. Lily, still in lightweight braces, spoke softly. I just want kids to feel safe at playgrounds. It's not fair that some kids are afraid to play. Her words made headlines. The Parks Department launched new policies, installed signs, and hired trained staff to monitor accessibility. 6 months after the incident, Lily returned to Butterfly Park. Nervous, she clutched my hand. What if someone gets mad again? She whispered. Look around, I said. The park had changed. Signs explained that the adaptive swing was for kids like her. A new mural showed children of all abilities playing together. An attendant stood nearby, smiling and welcoming everyone. Lily got in the swing, fastened tight. A little boy came up with his mom. Can I swing next to her? He asked. Of course, I said. They swung together, laughing. Higher, Mom. I want to touch the clouds, she shouted again. This time, no one stopped her. Today, Lily's doing great. Her arms healed stronger than expected. She still goes to therapy, but also gives talks at her school about disability rights. She helped design a new inclusive park across town. Last week, the mayor gave her an award for courage. Playgrounds are magic places, she said at the ceremony. All kids should feel safe and happy. Now more will. One woman's cruelty broke my child's arms. But Lily's strength helped break something far bigger: ignorance, exclusion, and silence. What healed in the months that followed wasn't just bone. It was a community. And that's the legacy no prison sentence can erase.